So, welcome to today's video. My name is Marvin. I'm a health coach for top 1% entrepreneurs. And in today's video, I want to talk specifically about the best diet for entrepreneurs. So join me on today's walk, and of course, make sure that you subscribe to their channel if you are an entrepreneur or if you're interested in how to optimize your health and performance. First and foremost, what is the best diet? Is it the carnivore diet? Is it intermittent fasting? Is it the vegan diet? The perfect diet should include three main factors. The first major factor is to stimulate your so-called neurotransmitters. What do I mean by that? We have two main neurotransmitters that determine either drive, motivation, energy, and relaxation and recovery. And this is in the first. Dopamine is responsible for motivation, drive, for energy. And serotonin, on the other side, is responsible for psychological well-being and stress management. And we can manipulate our neurotransmitters by choosing the right diet. We want to have a high dopamine level in our first part of the day. In order to increase dopamine levels in the first part of the day, I recommend to the majority of my clients to choose a low-carb and high-protein breakfast. What could that be? For example, it could be eggs. It could be salmon with healthy fats like an avocado. It could be something like, maybe if you're just short on time, just a handful of nuts with a protein shake. Because specifically, the combination of proteins and healthy fats increase dopamine. First point, we want a low carb and high protein breakfast. I don't recommend carbs because carbohydrates place us in a state where we more tend to relax. That's why eating a big portion of oatmeal for breakfast makes some people really tired. The same applies for choosing the right lunch. So I also recommend choosing a low carb but high protein lunch, best in form of some animal proteins. So one of my most recommended lunch choices are, for example, fish with vegetables or steak with vegetables, steak with avocado. So always a combination of animal-based proteins and healthy fats, as well as some kind of vegetables or some kind of fiber. In the evening, as I said, we want to increase so-called serotonin, because what a lot of time happens, especially when people go on a keto diet or go on a carnivore diet, what most of the times happen is that the sleep, the recovery, and the stress management is really suffering. Why? Because when you're on a carnivore diet, you are low carb, you don't eat that much carbs, and therefore you have a high dopamine level. People feel energized. But as soon as the evening comes, especially entrepreneurs, they have troubles calming down because they're working 10, 11, 12 hours throughout the day. They have really high stress levels. They have also really high ambitions and therefore an intense workday. And when the evening comes and serotonin is missing, mental health is suffering. So sometimes it can lead to symptoms of overloaded stress or sometimes symptoms of burnout and a lack of good sleep. That's why in the evening, I recommend the majority of my clients to eat some kind of carbohydrates. Most people will maybe cry right now because, oh, carbohydrates in the evening, maybe you get fat. No, you don't. Because by eating carbohydrates, for example, rice, potatoes, pasta, I recommend gluten-free pasta, gluten-free bread, or also some kind of sugar. Like sometimes to have some kind of junk food, especially in the evening, can be until a certain point beneficial. Second part that I want to cover today to find the right diet, especially for entrepreneurs, is eating enough calories. And that might be a little bit obvious, but a lot of people that I also work with, when I start working with them, they eat too less calories. So I have a lot of people who are skipping breakfast. They don't eat breakfast. They eat maybe just a small lunch, and then because they try to stay slim or they just lack of time, or they have really high stress levels and therefore they just don't have that much appetite, they consume too less calories. Because what happens, we are often told that we have to eat less and less and less and everyone eats too much. That's not right. We're just not eating the right things. That's the main problem, because too prolonged calorie restriction can slow down our metabolism and can lead to weight gain, can lead to high levels of stress, bad sleep, and can several health side effects. So that's why make sure you consume enough calories. And the third part I want to cover today is the topic of decision fatigue. Maybe you're familiar with that. It's been pretty popular through Mark Zuckerberg.
Even making small decisions around what you wear or what you eat for breakfast or things like that, they kind of make you tired and consume your energy. And my view is, I'm in this really lucky position where I get to wake up every day and help serve more than 1 billion people, right? And I feel like I'm not doing my job if I spend any of my energy on things that are silly or frivolous about my life, so that way I can dedicate all of my energy towards just building the best products and services. And
to make decisions is for our brain extremely intense and difficult. It costs a lot of energy. So for example, you're at work, you're deep focused in some task, and then lunchtime arrives and you get a little bit hungry. What happens? You start thinking about what you have to eat right now, what you want to eat, maybe what's healthy, what's available, and it's a lot of mental energy wasted. And an important thing is, especially throughout the week for entrepreneurs, to get the diet scheduled, to get a meal plan. That's why also I create for my clients meal plans, because they don't have to think about it. And if possible, pre-cook your food, get a chef, or get a meal prep delivery. There are plenty of options depending on where you live. Some healthy options where they just send you maybe every 2 weeks or once per month food that you can put it in the freezer. Just make sure it's healthy ingredients. But the positive side is you don't have to think about it. You save so much energy. You can just focus on eating. You don't have to waste any decision power and then go back to work. To summarize it, first what we talked about was neurotransmitters. First part of the day, dopamine. That means low carb, high protein, healthy fats. Second part of the day, serotonin. Consume carbs in the evening. Also always make sure you have some protein source with it. That was the first aspect. Second aspect, consume enough calories. And third part is save decision power. So make a meal plan around it. If possible, invest in a chef or food delivery, but make it scheduled and make a meal plan around it. So that's it for today's video. If you have some questions, let me know in the comments down below. And if you're interested in optimizing your health and performance, subscribe to the channel. That's it for today. See you soon.